Welcome back everyone! In this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different from my previous videos. In recent history, I upgraded my sewing machine to one that can do embroidery now, so I've been really interested in using that for different projects. I'm going to show you how to make embroidered earrings, which are really super easy to do, and I think they make really nice gifts. The supplies you will need are some embroidery thread in a color that you like, wash-away embroidery stabilizer. I purchased mine in a large roll from Amazon, some fabric scissors, needle-nosed pliers or jewelry pliers, earring hooks with backs, and you will also need matching jump rings, which will be used to connect the earring hooks to the embroidered design. Also, this is kind of a given, but you will need an embroidery machine as well. Even if you have an entry-level embroidery machine that has a small embroidery area, you should be able to make these just fine since they are small projects. Finally, you will need an embroidery design to make your earring. All the designs I have used were purchased from Embroidery Library, and I will link those in the description below. The type of embroidery design you are looking for is called a freestanding lace design, and they can be purchased from any number of websites online. The first thing you need to do is cut small rectangles of your wash-away embroidery stabilizer, which can fit your smallest embroidery hoop. The embroidery hoop I'm using is about the size of my hand. I really don't get fussy or do any measuring here, just kind of eyeball it and make sure that the rectangle is just large enough to fit the embroidery hoop. Hoop your rectangle of embroidery stabilizer so that it is taut in the hoop, kind of like a drum. Next, wind a bobbin with the thread color that you picked out. Most of the time when you're doing embroidery, you would probably just use white embroidery thread for the bobbin, but in this case, since the earrings are reversible, we want to use the same color for the needle thread and the bobbin thread. Since this is a small embroidery project, don't worry about filling up your bobbin all the way. In this video, I'm not going to go into the specifics of using your embroidery machine, since that's really going to depend on what kind of machine you have. The next step is to thread the needle with the thread color that you picked out and load the bobbin as well, so that we have matching thread in the needle and in the bobbin. We're going to load the hoop onto our embroidery machine, and we're going to stitch out our design directly onto the stabilizer. There won't be any fabric. If your machine has a speed adjustment, I suggest starting at a very slow stitch speed just to make sure that everything's working right before you speed it up. Once it looks like everything is starting to stitch out nicely, go ahead and bump up the speed some. Just to be safe, I've been running my embroidery machine at about half the maximum speed, and it takes about 10 minutes or so to stitch out one of these designs. Once your design is finished stitching out, go ahead and unload the hoop and take your project out of the hoop. At this point, you can go ahead and trim away any stray threads that are on your project. Next, take your fabric scissors and trim away a lot of the excess stabilizer around your earring. After that, take your embroidery design to a sink and run some warm water. Washing your earring in the warm water will dissolve all the remaining stabilizer, and you will be left with a freestanding design. If you are making a pair of earrings, you will need to repeat this entire process one more time to get the second earring. Depending on the size of the design, you may be able to stitch out 2 earrings in one embroidery hoop. Next, we need to let our earrings dry, and to speed up the process, I used a hairdryer on a low setting. However, you could just leave them set out for several hours to air dry. At this point, I also like to use spray starch on my earrings, and this is totally optional, but I just like to make them a little bit stiffer. The last thing we need to do is attach the earring hooks to our embroidered design. Use your pliers to bend open the jump rings so that you can connect your embroidered design to the earring hook. I will put links to the embroidery designs and all the supplies seen in this video in the description so that you can find them more easily. And that's all there really is to it. Your embroidered earrings are complete. To display the finished products, I've simply been punching holes in index cards and hanging the earrings on them. I hope you enjoyed this video and it has inspired you to create some new, unique embroidery projects. There are a lot of really interesting things you can make using freestanding lace embroidery designs, and be warned, if you get an embroidery machine, it's extremely addicting and you will want to embroider everything. A like and a subscribe are always appreciated, and if you have any questions about this project, please drop a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can.